Yeah, we're live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Jubilee Sports Extra. I'm going to be your host again tonight. My name is Labia Fakai, and with me, I've got some wonderful pundits, and you can see somebody extra in the room. I'm going to introduce him before we go ahead. We already said today was going to be special, 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 and we are going to be talking to him. But just some sort of introduction. Callum Powell is an English professional football player and he plays forward for the National League club called South End United. Callum, you're very special, and we feel very elated to have you in the house tonight. And trust me, we've got loads of questions for you. But I'm going to be talking a bit more about Callum. We can see that he's been around. When I mean around, he's started his youth career in Northampton Town, and he's gone from Simon Fraser to Rugby Town to Wrexham to Tamworth to Starbridge and moved all up until Stratford Town, Kettering Town, and now in South End. I also heard that you were on loan a couple of times and you've also been to Canada. That is all you're just going to be explaining to us. Now, the topic of today is how to get to the top. So, how to move from me, just a normal person, to Callum, and how to be the Lionel Messi and how to be the Haalands of our time and all the Ronaldos. So for the young people listening and for everyone who are aspiring to be great footballers like yourself, we would like to know how you went about it and how you grew and all the tips that would help them to get to where you are. So I hope we're not making it awkward for you, but we're going to have loads of questions for you this evening.
No, perfect. And I can't wait to like you said, inspire people and share a little bit about my journey. If it helps only one person, I'm always willing to do so.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, so in the house we've got pundits, like I said before. I would like them to introduce themselves and just say the club that they represent before we shoot on.
Okay,
Bishop, let's
maybe I
start
go
with you.
first. Maybe I go first. My name is
Yeah.
Emeka. I represent Liverpool FC. But I think from this evening I'll add South End to my repertoire.
Okay. And Junior.
Yeah, my name is Oluwaseun Junior, a Chelsea fan, and like Dikin Emeka said earlier, I'm also adding South End to my team tonight as well.
Oh, you guys are just being biased.
South End fans now.
Yeah. No, we've got a great player in our midst tonight.
Okay, Franklin.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Franklin. I'm the Man City fan, always Man City. Yeah, let me not join any other club to my club. That's Man City.
Okay, Gozi.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Gozier, and I'm an Arsenal fan. Always been an Arsenal fan and always will.
All right, you all know my name already. I'm for Chelsea. I'm the woman voice. It's Chelsea. Yeah. Okay, so Callum, we're just going to delve into the questions. We're actually running with a very tight schedule this evening. So the questions that we're going to be asking you, just very little, but we kind of want to put you on the spot a little bit. So the first question is, tell us something about yourself that nobody knows. Just something. It could just be one thing.
I own a private football academy that works with over 500, 600 players on a weekly basis.
Wow. Okay, that's a real wow. This is not me exaggerating, but that's a lot.
Yeah,
How
that's a
do
lot.
you do that? And you still have time to go for your football matches and all that. How do you
Yeah,
manage all that?
it's difficult. I've got a lot of good people involved in the academy and the business, so I delegate and direct it all from afar. I like to go back
Wow.
back in Coventry last 2 days where the academy is based. But yeah, I've got good people, a good team around me to obviously make sure we're fulfilling what we need to do.
Right. Oh, that's massive. That's impressive. Um, wow. I think I would say you have a good squad behind you, really supporting you, and that's what everybody needs. Imagine if you didn't have this kind of support, actually be difficult for you to achieve that. So what is it like playing in the National League for Southend United?
I think because the size of Southend United, there used to be a championship club about 5, 6 years ago. So obviously that's just one below the Premier League. So the size of the club is far too big for the league we're currently playing in. So like Kettering, for example, where I got bought from, we used to play in front of maybe 1,000 to 1,200 fans, whereas at Southend it's more 8.5, 9,000 every week. So it's a good league. It's competitive and obviously it's professional. So you're playing on BT Sport. You're obviously full time. The standard of coaching and the standard of players that you're playing with are very good, and there's not much difference really between the National League and League Two. So, yeah, it's a competitive league, and obviously it's full time, so it's enjoyable and you're fulfilling what you want to do as a hobby profession. So,
Right, right. Oh, that's brilliant. So, just a quick question. How can an individual go from nothing, which is the reason why we're doing this in the first place, from nothing to professional football? Like I said, the next Cristiano Ronaldo in England. So we're focusing on England now. So looking at England, the terrain, how can someone go from nothing to a professional footballer?
well, I think I wouldn't say that I'm at the highest level, the most of elite of elite, but I'm still a professional footballer. So if I'm going to say where I've come from to where I am now, I think there's no substitute for hard work, determination, and dedication. So I've been down at the very lowest of non-league pyramid. So I've been at step 4, step 5, and I've had to work my way up. You have to earn your stripes. So like in anything in life, you have to prove yourself to people.
Mm,
You have setbacks, challenges, and obstacles, and it's not being disheartened or discouraged from adversity, really. And probably the message and the ethos which I always go off, which is the reason why I set up CP Coaching Academy and the private football stuff, is because I'm a product of my own environment. I'll always be, no matter what room I work in, the hardest worker. So,
Mm.
in terms of, I'll do everything. I won't cut any corners, from my nutrition to my S&C work, to my individual one-to-one training, to my finishing, uh,
right,
my sleep, the lot. I'll make sure that there's no
mm,
shortcuts to take, and you always need to be the best possible version of yourself in every single capacity, really.
brilliant. Wow. Okay,
Can,
I'm
can, I- can,
sure our listeners.
can I jump in right there? I heard something Callum said that got my attention. He talked about his nutrition. Once upon a time, I saw Cristiano Ronaldo's nutrition, what it looks like as well. It didn't look like anything like how rich I think he is. So I wanted to
Right.
ask, because some of us do play a little bit of football, and I noticed that many people do get tired very easily. What
Mm,
sort of nutrition do you normally have that helps you to stay up there energy-wise?
So I think energy is probably the most important thing, not just in football or sport, but obviously in every day of life. So everyone's different. Everyone's got individual needs. So depending on your weight and whatever it is or what you're trying to achieve, I think it's really important that high protein intake. Obviously you're getting your vitamins and minerals through your fruit, vegetables, eating whole foods, good carbs like sweet potato. Um, and like I said, mainly for me, it's making sure that if you're doing a lot of exercise or a lot of work, you need to make sure that your calorie intake is just as high as your expenditure. So
Mm.
that's really important. And I think in terms of an athlete, it's about eating smaller portions but more regularly. So I'll have about 5, 6 meals a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
okay.
But then if you look in the grand scale of how much work I do, like for example, today I've trained 3 times. So what I'll be doing is my body fat is around about 7.5%. So it's very, 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 very low. But what I'll do is I'll have smaller bits of meals. So just for an example of what I've eaten today so far, I woke up in the morning, I'll have fresh fruit, Greek yogurt, and granola and honey. I'll then have a snack just after training, maybe a protein bar and a banana. Then for lunch, I'll have scrambled eggs on granary bread. Then I'll have a salmon fillet and tender stem broccoli. And then for dinner, I'll probably have steak and sweet potato.
Mm.
That's great. That's great.
Costs a lot of money, don't get me wrong. You have to,
Yeah, it does. It does.
you have
Yeah,
to
you
keep going
said something
shopping.
about the pocket. Yeah.
But I'm actually going to Sainsbury's after this, so fine. It is what it is. It's the price you pay to have the life, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic.
Right.
I'm not like Ronaldo. I don't have a chef, so.
Okay, so Callum, can you tell us, are there any pitfalls or discouragements on the way? So if there are, how can one avoid them? I mean, I know that there's not never a smooth road to success. So obviously, will be probably pitfall, probably have been experienced discouragements of different kinds. But the thing is, you learn from these things. I'm assuming you have. So can you tell us how one can avoid them and how to overcome them?
I think the biggest thing to understand is you're never going to avoid failure. So as soon as you can get that out of your head that at some point you're going to face an obstacle, adversity, or a
Mm,
setback, like that's inevitable.
yes.
So I think the most important thing is being mentally strong to be able to persevere with your goals and your ambition of what you want to achieve, regardless of something much might happen. It might be an injury, someone else's opinion, and stuff that's outside of your control. All you can really do is, so I've actually been out now. I've been injured for 7 months. I've not played. So
Wow.
I tore
Mm,
a PCL ligament, which is a cruciate ligament in my knee.
Mm.
I had to
wow.
wear a leg brace and crutches for 8 weeks, and I was told I couldn't exercise at all. But from the
Mm,
first day that I had my leg brace and the crutches, I was still in the gym twice a day. They told me I shouldn't, but I still did it because ultimately, for me, I need to maintain a certain level of. They told me I'll be out for 9 to 12 months, and I'm about to play the last couple of games of the season, 5 months
Wow.
of the schedule. So
mm,
ultimately, it's all about a mindset. You've got to be able to overcome adversity. You've got to be able to want to prove people wrong and prove yourself right. You have to make sure that you've got that self-belief and confidence. Because everyone's going to have different setbacks. I mean, I've had so many, it's unbelievable. That's why I've had so many clubs. But
yeah.
at some point, if you keep persevering, you're gonna get some luck. You're gonna get a break. It's just a lot of people fall off the bandwagon or give up after so many, and the people that are successful are the ones that don't give in.
Mm. Callum, can I ask a
Mm,
question? Yeah. You said something when you started talking earlier. You said that one of the secrets to getting to the top is diligence and hard work.
Yeah.
I'd like to say to you that there are quite a lot of people in England currently who I believe are listening to us this evening who are diligent. They are doing their best at the level where they are, but no one seems to be noticing them. No one seems to be seeing their investment into their craft as far as football is concerned. How can these people be helped?
So this is a big one. So one thing about me, and it depends on the personality type. I'm very extroverted, and I'll always not be too concerned about other people's opinion of me. So one thing which I always did when I was playing lower down is I'd make sure my games were recorded. I'd make sure when I do my extra work, I'd record it myself, and I'd almost be my own personal promoter. So that social media, I'll always be putting exposure of myself out there because I am my own number one fan. Because if at the end of the day, if you don't believe in yourself, who else is going to believe in you? So when you're
mm,
playing lower level football, you have to be your own promoter. So for example, when I was at Stourbridge on Nuneaton, you don't get loads of scouts or loads of fans. So for you
Mm,
to be able to be recognised, you need to be in team of the week in the non-league paper. You need to be star man. You need to be scoring goals. If you're not doing that, then you need to make sure your games are recorded. You need to edit your own clips and put it on social media. So that's Instagram, Twitter. Twitter's a massive one. And you can even look on my own Twitter now. So my Twitter is Callum J. Powell. And then you can see I've pinned, I changed it when I signed for Southend and I got a recent highlight one from Southend. But when I signed, I put my Kettering highlight at the top.
yeah.
So people that didn't know about me would go onto my feed and they'd see all my goals, assists, skills, tricks, shots, whatever
Yeah.
it was. And they'd be like, who's this guy? And then all of a sudden that video went viral. And then I had loads of clubs that were interested in me. Not just off the back of that, I was scoring every week, but for a defender, that might be hard. But you need to
Mm,
be your own number one fan in that. So the other misconception, which annoys me and irritates me a little bit because I'm in it firsthand, is that people think they're working hard enough, but they're not.
mm,
So people
mm,
think, for example, they think they're doing the work. They think they're doing the right thing. When in reality, you're honest with yourself, you're not doing enough. Because think about how many people in the world are trying to be a professional footballer. 0.2% of the population are a professional footballer. And that's how many people are going to make it. So you need to
mm.
be doing more than everyone else as a minimum requirement. And then you also have to perform when you're ready to as well. So that means that if you're going to the gym and doing bicep curls and bench press, realistically, you're not working harder than anyone. That's not relevant. So what I'm trying to say is when I was trying to get to be a pro, I'm talking I'd self-invest. So I might be working 2, 3 jobs, building my own business and stuff. I'm paying £70 an hour, 3 times a week for a one-to-one coach. I'm paying £50 a week for a mindset psychology coach. I'm paying £200 a week on my own nutritional plan to make sure I eat properly. I'm then going to the gym 5 days a week. I'm getting up early in the morning to read my books, do my journal, go to the gym and do my mobility work. People think they go to the gym for an hour after work and then they'll go to their team training for an hour and they think they're working hard. They're not working hard.
Wow.
That's standard.
Wow. I didn't know that. This is a lot. So I
And
think this is
this is the other thing, the reason why I created this brand here, which is behind me, CP Coaching Academy. Like I said, I'll always want to be a product of my own environment. I know what it takes to get there, and I'm not at the highest level. Don't get me wrong, I will never beat around the bush about that. However, I have been down at the bottom, and I've worked my way up to a level where I'm professional and get paid well for it. So ultimately, that is achievable if you follow the guidelines of you need to be doing the maximum you can every day. And whether that means, and to be brutally honest, when you're at the bottom, you're working. So I remember when I got released from Northampton Town as a scholar. I was there for 10 years. I then went to Canada to do an American scholarship. I realized university wasn't for me. So I come back to England and had to start at step 5 at Rugby Town. And I was working 3 jobs. I was 19, 20, and I was coaching. I was earning £80 a week from Rugby Town at 18, 19. And I had to go to the gym. I had to do my one-to-ones. I had to pay for my own house. It's horrible. It's not fun. I'm trying to build a business. And then all of a sudden, I smashed it, had a great season, and got to move to Wrexham. So you have to kind of take the hit and understand that I've got to be disciplined in this moment. I ain't got the time or the money to be going out with my friends because my own self-development, my own career is more important, you know?
Yeah. Wow.
That's deep. That's deep. Thank you so much for all this information, Callum. I'm just going to ask
sorry, Levia. Sorry, Levia. I've got a question here. Someone just sent a question across. The person said I should ask you, Callum, if you've got any slot for 18-year-olds in your academy, and if the answer is yes, how can they join?
Yes, we have. It depends what kind of training they wanted to do, but as part of the provision and the academy service we provide, we have a full-time scholarship program. So it's almost like a college course, and they train full-time. It's government funded, so you haven't got to pay. You get the highest quality of coaching. And if you're interested in that, all you have to do is go onto the website, www.cpcoachingacademy.com, and fill in the contact us form, and then we'll send you across all the relevant information.
Okay. And where is this academy located, please?
Our hub at the moment is Moat House Leisure Centre in Coventry, so it's in Bow Green.
Right.
Okay. I've got a question to ask you, Callum, if you don't mind, please.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I was going through your Twitter page earlier today, and I saw a tweet you put on there on October 2nd, 2023, talking about delirium, and I believe delirium is all about mental health challenges.
Yeah.
Is there any time you've been mentally challenged towards your career? And if yes, how did you go about that? How did you overcome it?
Is this my personal Instagram?
No, it's not. It's a Twitter account.
It says it's Twitter. It says
Yeah.
Twitter.
On my
Yeah.
Twitter. What did I tweet? Sorry, what was did I say?
You talk about delirium, and I know it's all
Delirium.
about
Yeah.
it's all about mental health challenging. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a quote that I live by. It says "Nil desperadum resurgam." So it's a Latin phrase which means "Never despair, I shall rise again." Okay,
Yeah.
so I live by that motto. It's something that my granddad taught me, and it basically means that, yeah, like you said, the answer to your question, rather than beat around the bush, is I've had so many setbacks. So is that what you're asking? You're asking me to explain a story of when I had a setback? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for example, the biggest one was, I don't know if you know the Brentford striker, Ivan Toney.
Yeah.
So it was me and him at Northampton Town. So I played with him. We was together in the same team. And it was me and him in the first team all of the time. And we had a manager called Eddie Boothroyd. He was the England under-23 manager a couple of years ago. Basically, he really liked us. and something happened in training. Wasn't too deep, to be honest. And it basically set me off. He just removed me from the first team and told me I wasn't allowed to train with them. Come to the end of the thing, and they all thought I was going to get a pro contract, and then they just got rid of me. So then straight away, I thought I was going to be a professional footballer. For 10 years, I prepared for that moment, and then it just got taken away from me. So then I'm scratching my head thinking, what do I do now? Like, what do I do? Where do I go from here? I don't know much about non-league. I thought I was going to be a pro footballer. And then that's when it come about that I went to Canada. I'll just briefly go through it. Basically, I had a full ride scholarship. So the scholarship was about $140,000 for 4 years. They paid for every penny of it. I had a full ride. It's rare to get. I lived in Vancouver in Canada, and we traveled all America in the American League, doing business marketing degree for free. I then got cut off the course. They said they couldn't afford my scholarship anymore because my academic grades weren't as good as they should be. So then again, that was wiped underneath me. Had to come back to England. I'm then going from Rugby Town. I went to Wrexham. I was 19, 20 at the time playing for Wrexham. You know the magnitude of them now. Ryan Reynolds owns the club. It's a huge club. It was a big club when I was there before. I was playing every week. I was doing well. And then all of a sudden, they brought in a new player from Stoke City who had played in the Premier League. He was a young boy as well. He just took my position straight away. And then it was the most difficult thing for me because I didn't know how to process that. I thought I had a God-given right at the time, being immature and naive, that I should be playing. And then I fell off the bandwagon a little bit, started having a bad attitude in training, walking around, not doing my extras. Next thing you know, I found myself out on loan at Leamington, which was 2 leagues below that. Then I got released at the end of the season. So then you find yourself, you start here, you work so hard to get there, mindset's not right, and then all of a sudden I'm back down there again in 12 months. So it's kind of like, well, what do I do now? How do I go from here? So then I'm rebuilding. I went on loan to Tamworth. They was in the league below. I ended up signing for the Leamington first. They were winning the league. Then I went back up to the Conference North with Tamworth. We ended up getting relegated from that league, from the Conference North. So then I ended up leaving there, going to Stourbridge. Then I found my feet a little bit. I started working with my psychologist for the first time because, to be honest, at that point, I'm thinking, how am I going to be a professional footballer now? This cycle of non-league.
Yeah.
How am I going to get out of this? I'm going to the gym. I got absolutely massive because, like I said earlier, I thought I was doing the right thing. I'm working hard in the gym. I'm getting far too big. And then I'm pulling my hamstring every week, every time I'm playing. But when I am playing, I'm doing really well. So then I had to work with my psychologist and change my body shape and do different work in the gym. I then got an England C call up when I come back from my injury. I started flying, doing really well. So England C is basically the best players in non-league football. Off the back of that, I then went to Nuneaton. There was a big club at that level as well. I was doing really well. I then got moved to Yeovil, who were top of the National League, which I'm in now at the time.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened. So I was about to sign my contract. COVID come, boom, gone. Didn't have the contract. So then I'm thinking, well, I'm back to square one. I'm not getting paid. I've not got a team. I'm in COVID. We're in lockdown. I don't know what I'm going to do. That was my opportunity to go back into pro football. I've worked so hard. Everyone forgets about it because of COVID. So then I've restarted again. I've completely fell out of love with football at this point, to be brutally honest with you. I fell out of love with it. I stopped doing my extras. I just thought, it's not for me. I'm going to concentrate on my business. I'm just going to earn a little bit of money on the side. And then it was basically someone took me under their wing when I went to Stratford Town. And in the same league as Nuneaton, someone who was my manager at Rugby Town, and he was kind of like a mentor for me. He took me in under his umbrella as a manager at Stratford. He played me every week. I probably played about 6 games, scored about 7 goals. And then COVID, the second batch of COVID happened again. So I'm thinking, oh my goodness, can I catch a break here? I just want to play football. I'm just rediscovering my love for football again. And then that happened. So then I thought, right, I'm going to utilize my contacts and people I know. And I reached out to the Kettering manager. So I'll be brutally honest, I had a bit of a bad reputation in non-league football for my bad attitude, getting in trouble all the time, drinking, partying. That was me at a younger age. Obviously, now I'm completely different because I've grown up and matured. But at that point, no one would touch me from the higher leagues. And that was what I didn't realize at the time. So I called the manager. I had him on Facebook. I don't know why I had him on Facebook. I messaged him and said, Can I come train? He said, yeah, come train. He knew who I was anyway. I always promoted myself and put my stuff on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. So he see my clips. He said, come and train. So that league there, the National League and the National League North, carried on playing through COVID, and then every league below that stopped because it's classed as a professional league. So I went to Kettering, and then I trained, ripped it up, did really good, and then they offered me a contract. So then I started playing. 9 games into that season with Kettering, you started playing behind closed doors games, but all the games were streamed. I scored 7 goals in 9 games again.
Wow.
They offered me a contract straight away. So I signed the contract. I had no COVID clause in it. Then all of a sudden we hit COVID again. But then it was okay because I signed a contract and I was getting paid for COVID this time. But and obviously I'm playing at a good level of football. So we come back the following pre-season. I had all that time when COVID hit again and they cancelled them 2 leagues. They cancelled all the football again on the second batch. So I worked so hard. I rediscovered my love for football. I knew what I needed to do. I'm playing at a good level now. This is my opportunity. I'm 24. This is my time now. So I really, really, really went hard. I went so hard on it. Training every day, 2-3 times a day. I said, I'm going to make, if it's going to happen, it's got to be now. Because I'm going back and forth of it. I worked so hard. Went into pre-season Kettering that season. Ripped it up. Fittest, fastest, sharpest I've ever been in my life. From the start of that season at Kettering to December, I scored 15 goals. Highest goal scorer in the league. Exposed. I had teams left, right, and centre that wanted to buy me, sign me, whatever it was. Southend bidded the highest, and then they bought me in that January transfer window.
That's great. You've been a hard-working player.
Yeah, you know what I mean, you got to be to be honest. I've had a lot of setbacks from it. So, and it got me at one point, like I said before. If you don't give up, you'll eventually get there. And I was that far away if it wasn't for that person. His name's Dale Balfour.
I think that's the key. Never to give up. People tend to want to throw in the towel when it looks like it's not going their way. Persistence is a bit of a problem for especially the young people today. So I'm just so glad that we have you here talking about your perseverance and how you kept going, and regardless of all the ups and downs. And it's quite challenging and it's quite encouraging at the same time.
Sorry, can I just go in? Yeah, so I think I totally understand where he's coming from, because initially my main reason of coming to the country, UK, was for football. I signed up to the Football CV Academy in Leicester, the one owned by Ashley Young. Then also I got into Dagenham and Redbridge Academy. But what happened was they were to start in January, and this was during the summertime. So I just went into uni. But I just felt like I couldn't balance uni and also balance football. But I went for various trials in Birmingham, in Coventry, in Northampton, in Leicester, to try and get into the groove of being a footballer. But it always clashed with my schedule. And one thing I noticed was, in terms of working out, I was never someone who worked a lot on stamina. So what usually happened was, whenever like you said, I used to do the bench press and the and the curls and all, but that didn't really help because I needed to work on my legs most times. So I always noticed because during trials, you go through the first round, second round, third round, they're filtering people out. Then I go to the final round. Then that's when I'm knackered, I'm tired. So I definitely understand that part of working at doing the right workouts, making sure your body is kept to the right condition. So I definitely understand that. And I used to work at Moat House. I used to see your team train at Moat House in Coventry. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. That's what it is. It's about being conditioned and doing stuff which is relevant to your sport, rather than doing what you think is good work. It's not good work.
Yeah. Definitely.
That's great.
Yes, Steve, because sometimes you think you're doing good work, but as long as it's not relevant, it's of no consequence.
Yeah.
Great. And one more question from myself. I'm sure Franklin has a question as well.
Yes, I have a question.
In. So, is there, Callum, can you tell us, is there an age limit to joining professional football? Because I've seen a lot of parents taking their kids, to the, I'm guessing even your academy, or they have this football matches mostly weekends, Sundays, and I know they're all looking forward to being a Callum tomorrow. Can you just tell? I mean, they're listening, so they would like to know: is there an age limit to joining professional football?
And just before you answer, Callum, let me add another extreme to that question. There are quite a lot of people who are probably in their 20s, early 30s who think they can still do it. They still have what it takes to go into professional football. Is there still a chance for those age brackets as well?
Like Gozie in the house. Gozie, I'm sure you still want to join.
Oh no!
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm still nursing my ACL injury, so I still have to get over that first.
Did I just hear you saying 30?
30, I'm gonna say realistically, no.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no on that one. Probably is very, very unlikely at that age because you're peaking around about 27 to 30.
Yeah.
Teams are realistically not going to take a punt on someone at that age. I think anything before that though is doable. Definitely. If you look at Jamie Vardy, I think he was 26.
Yeah.
So many games he went on to play and the record for Leicester of goals in the Premiership and all sorts. So it is easily achievable. Not easily, it's very difficult, but it is achievable. I mean, again, it goes down to you're going to have to go through the pyramid and go through the steps. But yeah, I would say that anyone in the age of bracket of 20 to 25, eight, I'd say could play professional football. I mean, even if you look at myself, for example, I was 25 before I got another move or another opportunity to play professional football, you know? And I see it all the time as well. Some of the lads that I play with, like the 26, 27, that's a good age. But ultimately, it depends what level of professional football you're talking about. Realistically, to play Premier League football, it's going to be a difficult task after the age of 25 if you're not currently there or thereabouts. But like I said, I'm one of them people that say anything's achievable. So if you're performing and doing well, there's no reason why you can't. I mean, look, Jamie Vardy's a perfect example. You'd have to go through the phases. So National League, into League Two or League One, prove yourself, Championship, prove yourself. Then you could go from Championship and get promoted to the Prem, or you might go to a lower Prem team. You know, it's achievable. It can happen. But my message to everyone would be is, if you've got a goal that you want to be a professional footballer, especially for my level of football, National League, League Two, there's no age restriction on to play that level of football. As long as you're playing a good step, like step three, and for your striker, for example, if you got 20 to 30 goals at step three, you should be knocking on the door to say, I want to play professional at step one, National League.
That's great.
Okay, I just want to put this in before we continue for our listeners. Just so you know, you can send your comments to on post it on YouTube or Facebook, or you can text or call 07417 428537. I'll repeat the number and the IT will put it on the screen. You can call 07417 428537. Might probably have questions for Callum. You can just post it on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you're watching from, and we will get that. Thank you. Okay, I'm guessing some people have questions as well.
Yeah, I think it's my own turn to ask my question.
Yes, Franklin, you can ask a question.
My question is just because I want to bring it up from the period you decided to extend your career to Canada. So because I believe there are a lot of people who are stuck at your current location on trying to become a professional, either footballer or coach. But they have been finding it so difficult to make a move or to see that opportunity to make a move to extend their career. So can you tell us how the challenges or how possible it was for you to move to Canada to extend your career?
Do you know what it is for me? Like I said before, I think it came naturally for me to be able to network with people. And I think the network aspect of it is really important because I could talk to anyone. So I'd meet someone and I'd probably leave an impression on them that they'd remember who I was. So you could be playing against an opposition team. I'd always make sure if we were playing against a big team for that league, I'd try to be the best player on the pitch because if nothing else, a progression to the best team in the league from the league or the team you're currently in is a progression. So small stepping stones all the time is what you're trying to achieve. So ideally you want to go up a league, but if you can't, you go to a better team when the time is right. So what I'm trying to say is if you might meet a manager, then you might make the effort to have a conversation with them. So then it gives you the platform that if you want to go play for them or they get a move to another team, you can pick up the phone. So, like I said, with Paul Cox, who was the manager at Kettering at the time, I knew who he was on Facebook, and I just had the confidence just to message him and believe in myself. I know I'm good enough to go there. Just give me a chance. And then ultimately, people might say no, but then you've got to keep going and almost just keep putting yourself out there and be like, I'm ready. Give me an opportunity. The biggest one is social media these days. Be your own marketer. But ultimately, what I find in football, from my experience and friends and seeing it firsthand, is cream always does rise to the top. If you're doing enough and you're playing well enough, you will get recognized and get a move. Because there's that many people in football now, there's that much exposure at all levels of football, that if you're good enough, eventually you will get a move. And if you don't, I would probably say you might be being a little bit deluded or off how good you're actually playing. That would be my message, because every single person that I've seen that have had good seasons or are consistent or are playing well or one of the best in the team, they always progress. It always happens.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, quick one, Callum, please. Sorry, I've got this kind of question that I've wanted to ask for a very long time, and glad you are here. And I think this is an opportunity for me to ask this question. Obviously, people thought or people think Premiership or English football is the best league in the whole world. Don't let me say Premier. Let me just say English football entirely. No, people believe it's the best league in the whole world. People believe if you haven't played in English league, you haven't played a better football or something like that. So from your point of view as a professional English football player, what can you say about that? Do you believe Premiership is the best league, or do you think it's just like an hype league? Or
I think obviously it's down to opinion, but ultimately I'd say that look at what people achieve from the Premiership and the kind of players they attract and the crowd and the standard. And what you can see is, from the statistics they pull out of every game in the Premier League now, in terms of the volume of running, the intensity of the matches, the amount of passes played, forward passes played, high speed dribbles, amount of goals scored, amount of chances created, is the highest in the Premier League, because the tempo and the intensity is far superior to every other league. If you watch a Spanish game on TV, Real Madrid obviously are, and Barcelona are obviously a different kettle of fish, of course. But everyone else in the league are nowhere on that level. Same as France. No one's on PSG's level. Italy, you're talking, obviously,
Milan.
You know, there was only a couple in that league, whereas the Premiership is so competitive. Aston Villa are fourth in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Like, who would have thought that? You got Chelsea not even in the top 10.
Unfortunately,
This is what I'm trying to say. The Premiership is such a strong competitive league. Everyone wants to go play in the Premier League. Everyone wants to play in the Premier League. It is, and obviously, I'm not just being biased because I'm English, of course, but look at the standard of the games. You know, it's incredible. Like the tempo, the intensity, the fight, the determination, the creativity, the technical ability, the physical. The biggest thing about the English game is the physical attributes that all the players have, as well as the technical. In Spain, it's all technical. You're not going to see someone come from behind you and clamp you on. You're not going to get that in the English Premier League. You're going to get that everyone's strong, everyone's fast, everyone's agile. Then you have to be exceptional on the ball as well. So the demands are far superior in the Premier League. I think it's the best league.
Yeah.
Callum, just before we let you go, because I know Labia would want to let you go in a minute, but let me just ask you this question. There's a football match tonight between Chelsea and Manchester United. Who is winning that match?
Why are you bringing this up?
Right.
I'll just check some tables.
I'm calling it now. 2-1 Man United.
Well, no, that's good. That's from your own opinion,
no,
Callum.
no.
Well,
actually,
why do you think so?
Let me just let you know. Let me let you know that against every 15 this season, Chelsea have been playing so well. Chelsea have been incredible this season against all the big teams. If you know the record is there. I'm talking about this season. Those Chelsea have not been we've been creating the chances, but the goals have not been forthcoming. Like I understand, but tonight is going to be another shock match to all the football fans in the whole world. And I will tell you, it's going to be 3-0 down by Chelsea.
In favor of
Chelsea, obviously, 3-0.
Let's be honest. This is a mid game that we are about to watch this night. It's a mid game, a game between two mid-table teams at the moment.
Yeah. I know. And to be very frank with you, if you see, Man U too have not been doing too. Man U have not been doing too well. Chelsea have not been doing too well.
Right.
So it seems that you can actually, you can't actually say who's going to win.
No.
But as a Chelsea fan, I have to be very biased and I have to be sentimental. I would definitely pick my team ahead of Man U. But to me, like I said earlier, Chelsea has got a very good record this season against big teams than any other team rather. So that's why I'm going for Chelsea, not because I'm a Chelsea fan, to be frank. So it might not be 3-0 like I said, but I'm going to counter what Callum said. It's going to be 2-1 in favor of Chelsea.
And you make up your mind already.
The fact that I may support Chelsea to win doesn't mean that Chelsea. No, you guys can play that way. Just any winning you guys should get should be a lucky one. Should be a lucky one because talking about performances with five big teams. I think Arsenal are more placed to drag about that, not Chelsea.
Don't worry, there's no luck in football anyway. Let me let you
Okay, guys. Okay, guys, we have to let Callum know. Callum, this is what I deal with every first Thursday of the month. These guys go for and back at themselves. It's all for the greater good.
It's all good. It's all
Right.
good.
So thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. I have been very excited about this. I've been going off and on, going to my friend, oh, I'm going to talk to a professional footballer today. And for me, I've been very excited about it. It's such a pleasure to meet you and to hear your wonderful story. And I have been encouraged. I know this is about football, but I think like it transcends just football. The whole discipline, the whole, self-mentoring, investment in yourself, it transcends just being a professional footballer. And so we want to say thank you for sharing all that wonderful experience and knowledge with us. And we hope to see you again. And we wish you well as you go to greater heights. Like you said, nothing is impossible. So if you want to get to, Premier League, of course, you can.
And Callum, if anybody wants to join CP Academy, how can they do that? You said they should go to what website again, please?
So all you have to do, if you just Google CP Coaching Academy, it will should come up near the top, the website, and then you'll be able to see it yourself. You should see this big logo somewhere around it. And then basically, if you can see all the services and coaching programs which we have. And if you just fill out a booking form, it could be a general one with your full name, parent's full name, player's full name, age, position, what you're looking to improve, then we can tailor a session or a program to you because we offer everything possible.
So what about the age? Sorry to cut you. For the children. What age is the youngest?
So our youngest one, we have a program called Mini Stars. So that starts actually at 18 months. So our youngest players are 18 months of age, and that goes up to age. So that's called the Mini Stars.
Right.
And then off the back of that, you go into progression and additional program support. So then we have one-to-ones, ball mastery skills groups, elite striker and finishing groups, PDC player development center group sessions. We then have MJPL teams, which is the level on Saturday, one below academies for under 10s, 11s, 12s, 13s, 14s, 15s, 16s, and under 18s. And then the final pathway is into our full-time scholarship program for 16 to 19-year-olds. They get equivalent to 3 A-levels in sports coaching and excellence. And they get to train full-time, play in the English College League. We have regular trips to St. George's Park. We played in a VAR tournament the other day against some fantastic teams. And then the progression from there, we had a link with Nuneaton Borough until they went bust. Now we're partnered with Hinckley Leicester Road Football Club. So we push all of our players into men's first team football and give them that opportunity and pathway. So there's a full support pathway there from 18 months all the way through to 20 plus.
How about coaching licenses? How about coaching licenses within CP Coaching Academy?
So we have a requirement of a minimum of level 1. We then upskill you to do level 2. Okay. If you're not already level 1, then we can help put you on that of a player maker. But obviously, your standard of coaching would need to be at a certain level.
Yeah. Okay. All right. No worries.
Thank you, Callum.
Thanks a lot, Callum.
I just wanted to say it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with all of you. Like I said, I'm very passionate about the subject. And if there's anyone listening that is inspired by it or has any other questions, like I said before, I hope you reach out. on the social media platforms. Or you could either drop my personal account or CP Coaching Academy account. And like I said, don't be hesitant to get involved with CP Coaching Academy, because like I said, everything and my message, my ethos transcends straight into the academy. So we've got great people around there that are trying to get people to achieve that as well. So it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Pleasure is ours. Thank you so much.
See you
Thank
later.
you.
All right.
See you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.
All right, the viewers,
Okay.
this has been very awesome for me. I hope you also got encouraged and got stirred up as much as I have. If you have any questions, like Callum said, you can also send it to us, and of course, if you get to him, or you can go to his social media pages as he has indicated. We're unable to cover anything else for our own side of the gist. But just so you know, this is brought to you from Jubilee Christian Center. We host the Jubilee sports updates, and we try to stir up and have discussions about football and what the fans are saying. We're going to draw the curtain here today because our time is gone. But then, of course, still express your opinion and send your questions across, and we will, of course, revert to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Emeka, do you have anything to say? I think he's just saying go ahead. So being a Christian does not mean that you can't do football. Yes, you can do game. Yes, you can do everything. So living the life of Christ is quite exciting and very beautiful as well. And this is why we have Jubilee Sports SR. So we cover every aspect when it comes to Jubilee Christian Center, Coventry. Thank you so much for joining us. And next month, on the first Thursday of the month, we'll be coming back here on Jubilee Sports Extra. Thank you. And good evening from me and from the rest of the team. I'm sure.